friend of mine, James, is a longtime Jets fan, known him my whole life, basically, since elementary school. We text now and then, and every year I try to go, oh man, don't you feel good about the Jets? Like, things are turning up. I remember when they drafted Sam Darnold, I was like, dude, you got a new quarterback, and that didn't work. And I said, hey, you drafted Zach Wilson, it's going to be awesome. And I've been trying to get him to get excited for years, because I do think the Jets are heading in a good direction. They've been building a good roster. They've got a good defense. And every year, James is such a downtrodden Jets fan that he's like, nah, believe it when I see it. He's like, he doesn't believe that his team can ever be great. And he's always kind of like reserved and like, we'll see. I'm not sure. And this was the first year ever where James got really excited. I was like, James, come on, man. It's going to be cool. You got Aaron Rodgers. And he's like, yeah, I think actually this year could be a special year for the Jets. And I say all that to tell you, James' heart is broken. On Monday Night Football, we finally got to see the moment we've been waiting for. Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback for the New York Jets. And it lasted 4 plays. Then Aaron Rodgers got hurt. He left the game. Today we got the worst confirmed. He tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. And someone made a horrible joke on the Strong Opinion Sports Patreon fantasy football chat. They said he played 4 snaps, 5 if you count the Achilles. Ugh, that's horrible. Here, it's over, man. Aaron Rodgers' career was basically with the Jets. We'll see. Maybe he comes back next year. I can't imagine. He'll turn 40 in December this year. Hard Knocks was fun, though. That's the one thing Aaron gave us this year as the Jets quarterback. He made Hard Knocks the best season of Hard Knocks we've had in a long time. Otherwise, looks like his year is over. Well, it is over. And I would imagine, torn Achilles is like the worst injury you can have, basically, to your lower body. It's hard to recover from. It would have been better if Aaron tore his ACL straight up. Turns 40 in December. I wonder if Aaron's just going to retire. I don't know if he's going to... He's the oldest player in the NFL this year. And I'm curious if Aaron stays with the Jets this year. Maybe he hangs around and he becomes basically Coach Aaron. Although I could see another reality where Aaron says, I'm going to hang it up. I love you guys. Take care. And isn't with the team all year. I have no idea. It's brutal, man. I feel really bad for Jets fans. Again, my friend James was so excited. First time in his life that I've ever known him to get excited about the Jets. Finally, had some enthusiasm going into week 1. Literally crushed within 4 plays of the year starting. And I feel bad for head coach Robert Saleh of the Jets. I love him, man. He's compelling. He's awesome. I think he was going to have a really fun year. Jets fans, their quarterback, Robert Saleh. It's brutal all around. And, that's the lead story today. It was Colorado football for a while. Now we're moving into, Aaron Rodgers was the lead talk all offseason. And I was excited because I wanted to cover Aaron all year. I'm like, Aaron is going to be someone generating a lot of traffic for the channel. I thought, hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to be a massive conversation all year long. And instead, that storyline is off the books. Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, not really going to be a thing this year. And, I was worried about the Jets' offensive line. Aaron Rodgers played 4 plays. One of them was a handoff, went for a 10-yard run. The other 3 were pass plays. All 3, Aaron was under pressure a ton. All 3 times Aaron dropped back to throw the football, he was under pressure a ton. On the 3rd time he threw the football, got sacked and tore his Achilles. Year over. It's sad. Now, despite Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, though, basically him not playing the entire game, the Jets actually still won the game. It was kind of it was a roller coaster of a football game. Oh my gosh, my emotions were up and down and up and down. And they beat Buffalo. Bills quarterback Josh Allen had 4 turnovers, a fumble, and 3 interceptions. Look, everything about this football game was a shock. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Josh Allen had 4 turnovers. The Jets won without Aaron Rodgers and instead with Zach Wilson, which is bizarre and I did not see coming. What a weird game. And by the way, all 3 interceptions were made by Jordan Whitehead, Jets safety, which is, what a great way for him to start the year. It's almost a shame because it's very clear this Jets defense is really, really good. And now that Aaron's hurt, you're back to square one with Zach Wilson as your quarterback. It's a good team with a quarterback that, is probably going to be a limiting factor. with Zach Wilson. The Jets are basically back to what they were last year with a little bit better Garrett Wilson and probably a little bit better defense. It's really sad. It's like, oh, man, like they built this awesome football team, and now we're back to square one. Zach Wilson was okay in this football game, I guess, okay. He was 14 for 21 passing, had 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception was awful, by the way. He stared down a receiver over the middle. Matt Milano, Bills linebacker, was just waiting for the ball in the middle. You can't throw the ball there. He's not open. The receiver's not open. Defender's waiting for the football. Made an easy interception. The Jets did win the game. They won 22-16 in overtime. But they did not win because of their quarterback, Zach Wilson. Let's be very clear about that. Their defense looked outstanding. The Jets' defense, that's why I say it's a shame. It's a defense that's probably going to be one of the best in the NFL. And it's going to be wasted, potentially, with a quarterback who I would love to see Zach Wilson. I want to be clear about this. I am rooting for Zach Wilson. They said he's going to be our quarterback all year. Dude, I would love to see Zach Wilson become the franchise quarterback. I'm hoping he can be. Maybe Aaron comes back and is like Coach Aaron all year and helps him out. I don't know. It feels like, though, this Jets defense, which is really good, is going to get wasted on a football team that can't score enough points. And, it's maybe we see, I just don't think they're the Ravens defense that won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. And it's also a different era of the NFL where I don't know that you can win a Super Bowl anymore with an mediocre to inept offense and a great defense. I just don't think that kind of team can win a Super Bowl in 2023 in today's NFL. But I will say the 4 best defenses I saw during week 1 were Cleveland, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Jets. And the story is all of them got pressure on opposing quarterbacks. That's a massive deal. Like the 3 interceptions Josh Allen threw were all partly because he was under pressure. And when your quarterback is under pressure getting hit, trying to throw the ball before he's hit, it impacts your accuracy, it impacts your decision-making. It's the most powerful tool a defense can have is the ability to get after the opposing quarterbacks. It makes your secondary better. That's why the Cowboys defense is so terrifying. You're going to get after opposing quarterbacks. Your corners, Stephon Gilmore and Trevon Diggs, can run with receivers all game long. And if that quarterback's margin for error, I guess what I'm saying is the quarterback's margin for error is way lower. And the margin for error, I guess, or the likelihood of making a small mistake, slightly inaccurate throw, when you're under pressure is higher. It's just sad. This Jets defense is awesome. They're going to get after opposing quarterbacks. It's going to lead to slightly inaccurate throws, maybe bad decisions, and oh man, I just feel so sad. It's like, great football team, and the quarterback is probably going to be the problem. Again, we'll see. I'm hopeful. I don't want to be too negative. Now, the game went to overtime. The Bills had the ball first. The Jets defense got a stop. It was awesome. They forced a 3-and-out. And on the punt, Xavier Gibson ran the punt back for a touchdown, which is so cool to see. Xavier Gibson, if you watched Hard Knocks, was one of the stars of Hard Knocks. Undrafted rookie receiver, made the football team, made the 53-man roster, has their game-winning play week 1. You love to see that. But all in all, it was it was weird. It was such a roller coaster. Again, extreme disappointment, then acceptance, like, the Jets are going to lose. It's going to be a weird game. I thought about turning the game off, but I'm like, it's my job. I'm going to watch it. And I'm glad I did because the Jets came back and won, and it was awesome. I don't know, man. What a weird game. I want to read a question from Patreon. If you want to submit questions to the show, you go to patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. You can write into the show like Daniel did. Our Thursday, Friday episode will be littered with so many questions from Patreon. It's going to be awesome. But Daniel writes in. Daniel says, "Hi, Zach. I don't know when you're reading this, but I'm writing this after the Jets-Bills game concluded. With Rodgers likely out for the year and a ready-to-win roster, I don't think the Jets can afford to ride another season with Zach Wilson as the full-time starter again. As a Texans fan, I think we should trade Davis Mills to the Jets. It's a win-win. We already have Case Keenum as a reliable backup. We'd get a decent compensation trade value-wise, whereas I believe the Jets can win a lot of games with Davis Mills. What do you think? Are the Jets making a mistake? They said openly, we are going to stick with Zach Wilson the rest of the year. Whether that's true or not, you have to say that because you're trying to instill confidence in Zach Wilson. Daniel, you have a good idea, actually. Davis Mills, of all the options I can think of for the Jets to bring in, Davis Mills is a guy who is solid. Not a great quarterback, but did some good stuff on a really bad football team in Houston the last couple of years. Got replaced by rookie C.J. Stroud, but, it was debatable whether C.J. Stroud, how much better is he than Davis Mills? We'll see. I think one problem with your idea is Davis Mills would have to learn a system very quickly. He'd have to learn the entire Jets offense and then be expected to do that at a high level. Whereas you got Zach Wilson, who's there, been there all of training camp, already knows the system. You don't have to teach him anything. The other backup ideas I've seen thrown around are like Nick Foles, Cam Newton, Colt McCoy, who got cut by the Cardinals because his arm was dead. Carson Wentz. Like, you want to bring Carson Wentz onto the Jets? Come on. Pull Matt Ryan out of broadcasting. That's a terrible idea. Joe Flacco. Bring Tom Brady out of retirement. That would be it'd be compelling and funny because Tom Brady would play the Patriots twice this year. That would be wildly interesting. I don't think it's going to happen. But again, the other options, Colt McCoy, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, come on, man. These are not good options. There's not a great quarterback ready to win football games just hanging around on a sofa at home. It's just, they're all taken. And, I think what you do is stick with Zach Wilson at your quarterback spot. Zach Wilson knows the system, and he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's only 24 years old, just turned 24. I think what you do by keeping Zach Wilson is it allows you to evaluate him. Really make a decision, because they were hoping they could have Aaron for a couple of years, keep Zach, then Zach would develop into maybe their starter after Aaron Rodgers. Well, after Aaron might have come way faster than anybody thought, literally 4 plays into the year. Maybe it's time you find out, can this guy do it or not? You got a great team around him. I know that, I honestly wonder if it wasn't Aaron, they probably would have brought in Derek Carr. The Jets were getting ready to replace him anyway, but Aaron was the right moment where they kept Zach because he could sit behind a veteran and learn. If they brought in Derek Carr, I don't think they would have kept Zach Wilson, to be totally honest. But now you can get a shot. Hey, how much did Zach learn from his brief time with Aaron Rodgers? Let's evaluate. Let's see what he can do. And then after this year, they got to make a decision because he's got 1 year left on his contract after this year. You have an opportunity. There's going to be a lot of really good quarterbacks available in the draft. And maybe you can draft one. But, Davis Mills, Daniel, that's a good idea. I like that. I am in support of keeping Zach Wilson, just riding with him the rest of the year. He has potential. The dude has a good arm. He's got to grow as a player, and there's a lot of stuff he can do better. But what else are you going to find? Again, Davis Mills is the only other option that makes sense to me, unless you can convince Tom Brady to come out of retirement. But again, the messaging from the Jets has been, we're going to commit to Zach Wilson, and you have to say that because you want to instill confidence in your young quarterback. But the other options, Colt McCoy, Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, are you kidding me, guys? I don't think there's a good quarterback out there that can help them win football games any more than Zach Wilson really could. And so I would stick with Zach Wilson, but it's definitely a weird situation and not a good one for the Jets. Let's shift gears now out of New York. What a weird weekend for, the Giants got destroyed 40-0. I thought the story was going to be, hey, it's like the worst football weekend in New York history. The only silver lining, the Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers got hurt. The Giants got beat 40-0 and embarrassed by Dallas. The only little silver lining is somehow the Jets found a way to win and beat Buffalo, which, by the way, is another New York sports team. So just a weird weekend for New York sports. And I guess I'm glad the story isn't worst weekend in New York sports, but that would have been really compelling. I probably would have made that the title of the show. Instead, the Jets won, so you can't quite say that, but as far as bad luck and bad weeks go, it's pretty bad. The Jets won, but did they? It's awful.